Yo, okay, he's back. Hmm, made some coffee, got some more water. Um, all right. Well, this is sort of where we are, right? I'll run it in release so it um looks all right. So I kind of feel like there's a problem with scrolling. This could be a little bit more cleaned up. Um, the top bar could be cleaned up for sure. Um, we have searching. Oh, echo boy, we search by that. There's like, I think if we go like, yeah, like that's obviously not good. Um, but it's coming together. It really is. We can do a lot of stuff. And so, what I think I'm gonna do right now is I think this is gonna be a cleanup video. And I thought I was gonna do one earlier, but then I kind of got caught up doing the text field stuff. So this is gonna be the cleanup video. It's just it needs to happen, and this is like what I'm saying. Code bases just get out of hand too quickly, and so yeah, my goal is to you know prevent that from happening. So, that being said, shall we begin? All right. So let's go through API. Let's read through this file and make it plain because this is one of the messier files. So this move to context. This basically operates just on context. So this could be this should be a context member function or a function that takes a context. So what I want to, jeez, maybe my program is greedy. I don't know. Every time I do any graphic stuff from C-Line, it gets super slow. So, yeah. Okay, so this should be a context member function or member that takes a context. Either or is probably fine with me. The point being is that API assumes this universal context, right? Everything else should operate on a past in context. API is the only thing that you get a free initialized context. What's the reason for that? It's just if we end up needing two contexts or whatever, it's just I don't know. It's I don't think you should build systems assuming they're you should pass in the things you want it to act on, and then outside of that system decide whether that's a singleton or some global inline variable or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't think that's the responsible of the system or of the responsibility of the system or the class to determine where it's stored or how it's used. All you do. So all this stuff goes in context. Compile. I'm gonna keep this note around because I like it, but I'm gonna put it somewhere else. I'm gonna leave this here for now, but I don't love it. All right. So in update, we kind of need a reasonable way to pass in hold input state, mouse, keyboard, etc. without relying on the actual engine. And that's because, remember, we want to be able to swap out the renderer. We want to be able to like use this. We want other people, I mean, I'm not going to use it in any other context, but we want other people to like potentially be able to do that. And I think it's a good design thing. I don't think you want it too coupled with something. Like, what if we end up making a more lightweight engine later on, or something like that, or just like, we'll say to a degree this is the information we need. But yeah, we're not gonna like fully all right. Okay, so we'll say so this oh man, this is overwhelming. Okay. So left mouse button pressed, UI.focus text. So this also should be like, yeah. So we reset, we call layout, and then we compile, and then we set it to false. This is sort of like this is like resetting this is really just for resetting focus. So this could be moved to another function specific to that, just so we can like more clearly trace it. Render. This is sort of fine. Style state writer. I don't know if the destructor actually does anything anymore. No, it does not. Let's get rid of it. Get rid of anything we don't use. So do we ever use style writer for anything? I don't think we do. Because we also have some style function that just takes a string somewhere. I think. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this style writer, or at least I'm gonna comment it out, and then get rid of all of the things that use it and these extra style functions. And then see. Do we still? Okay, so we don't have problems. Okay, let's run it. Does that work? Yep, seems to work. Search, whatever. We can still update. We can still zoom. We can still play pause with the keyboard. Okay, sweet. So style state writer. What is this stuff? Are we using this function? Find usages. This is the only usage? Okay, gone. Default hover active. We're using inherit. We're not returning anything there. We can get rid of apply. We can get rid of this. We know why we added class indexes. And really what this is just style writer. And then we use this, probably, find usages. Okay, right, okay. And style sheet, this is being called somewhere, right? Why the fuck are we calling it twice? How did that not cause more problems? Looks like it's fine. Okay. To do, move this to wherever the concept of depth lives, and update all depth args to use this. So this is pragma region style writer. Okay. Pragma end region. I'm okay with sort of like, kind of forget if this is how we did it. Yeah. Okay, so we have style writer, and then we sort of have element writer. So we have pragma region lm writer. Could honestly probably just rename this to lm writer. We just call it lm everywhere. Oh, here's a nice long one. someone at my door, bro. Yeah. They trying to deliver a package. Man, this one's gonna be a doozy. It's always the doozy ones that end up getting views too. That's the crazy part. Do is go to the gym, come back, do some more. Okay. So we have style writer. We need element writer. Okay, so I'm not gonna go through the way all this works right now, but we have left, top, width, height, z-index, offset, and then some convenience functions. We haven't had to use this, so I'm just gonna say dir margin. Now moves ledger. Moves ledger, I don't know if we ever actually use this, right? Like, but I could totally see potentially using it, so I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna bring this to our like thoughts section, like our diary. Style children, enable events, on mouse enter, on mouse down, on mouse click. We might as well do all of these, right? So on mouse leave. So it's on mouse, so we have enter, leave, down, up. Enter, leave, down, mouse up, on mouse up. Enter, leave, down, up, left click, right click. Left click, right click, move. I don't know if move happens inside. We have scroll, we have text change, and we have render. Okay, that's good. So then we have center V, center H, center, which centers both. I mean, that's really what it is, right? That just makes sense. I don't think that any of this can be simplified. This is one singular line. Like, I mean, enable events could potentially be taken out and put into like something else, but yeah, I mean, the idea with this function is like, okay, like this is user facing. This has no logic in it. This literally just does things that are convenient for users and builds things that are actually convenient, like this, like. So I kind of think maybe we just leave it the way it is. Come back to it later. Begin. God, I want to get rid of this function so bad. I mean, there has to be a way. There has to be a way. Like, children. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm not going to solve it right now, but to do make make begin function obsolete. There might be a way to do it. I mean, I thought of a way. I just thought of a way. I mean, we could do it. I mean, this honestly wouldn't add much overhead, right? Right? So we could say, this would be so stupid, but it might honestly be worth it. Because we don't know what the last function's going to be. So, yeah, but if the last function, if we do it at the end of the last function, if we say like when we open up, like we could say, oh, you have to declare your children last, but then it's just like, I don't know, man. Like that could be a source of bugs. Like you don't want a specific order of things. You don't want to say like, I just wish we could get rid of this begin. Like, is there a way? Is there a way? Begin children literally just moves the depth forward, right? Yeah. I just can't think of a way. I just can't think of a way. Like if we say dot children, spacing 0, children begin down, children begin down, style width, children begin. I mean, this begin is so annoying. Yeah, the only way to know for sure is to call something before. But because C++ will keep temporaries around until the end of the statement, and this is just basically one line of code, we can't rely on the destructor. Is there another way to create some other temporary object? The only other thing I can think of is a macro. But that's just ugly as shit. Like, we don't want to do a macro, bro. And we don't want to, like, specify, oh, this has children. Maybe there is a way. Maybe there is a way, man. Like, I don't know. I'm getting hung up. You gotta push past it. Sometimes you gotta, when you see resistance, push past it. Okay. This. Oh, this code's a freaking mess. I hate this shit. Okay. Here's some element presets. That's fine. These should... These should go somewhere. These should go somewhere else. Okay. I'm okay with element writer. I'm okay with style writer. All this other bullshit we know we're gonna like look at. Okay. Are buttons always not... Do buttons... I feel like buttons usually are a fixed width, right? I kind of feel like buttons are usually fixed width. So I'm going to say... text center, and then I'm gonna give it a default width of 150. Alright, let's run it again. Let's see. I think that might be far too wide. always true, right? Literally every time. So yeah, I don't see why that shouldn't be the case. Okay. Then we can commit to this as a button. So probably have something like widget, button widget. All right. Constraint solver. Oh boy. This is a lot. Gotta start somewhere. So stack frame. Are we using all these? Find usages. Okay, we're using that. I think we are using this. Find usage. Okay, so we are using. It just seems like a lot of information, but. All right. Maybe we look at how to bring this down in size, but whatever. Quad ATTR header. Are we using this? No. Let's run. Or we really just need to build. Okay. As shown. Okay. Now we got solve context. And this I'm gonna put off and consider moving lots of this stuff to shared main context. Because again, I don't think that this, I think what would be nice is we have one large main context and then we can kind of construct these lightweight, solve context, which only has what you need. Passed around because the reason I want to pass around, excuse me. The thing I struggle with is like benchmarking and testing. It's like you kind of want to have as little of a context as possible. Right? Like you don't, if you want to be able to test out your method like using just what it needs, right? So that's why I'm like, okay, like let's only add what we need to this context. But we'll see. We use these, we use that, 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 we use this. Nope. And we use this. Yep. Not sure why that's in a different spot, but okay. Element type and buffer. Is it shape? Yeah, what happens if we take this out? We element type and shape. I thought we already had those. No, we don't. Okay, so we need shape. Really? And then constraint solver. So that gets rid of that, and we can say we already include util. So what's this about? Use of undeclared identifier shape. Okay. This sucks, but I'm gonna just leave this until I have time to like actually rewrite buffer. I'm gonna put that in main because this is, yeah, it doesn't really do buffer API and move it to v3 or even tileOS utils generally. Okay. All right, so all of these things are used. Okay. I think that, I mean, I think this belongs here as like a to-do. Arg buffer. So all of this is like pretty clean. I've like kept this pretty clean. There could be more error handling, but God, I wish. Maybe I could say like. Well, we could say something like this. We could say like, if nah. I don't know. I'm gonna rename that to get character offset. Add, subtract, multiply, divide, max, clamp. Okay. expression size. And we return the result. So, this is just a big hunk of code, whatever. Okay, then we eval quad field. That looks pretty clean. Update parent layout. I'm going to leave all of this layout stuff the way that it is. Just because this might not still be a thing. Eval layout must be called after eval quad. Eval quad may try to resolve OP content width, and it needs to know that content width is not resolved on the first pass. However, here we set it to resolved only if the child's width is unresolved. We set it back to well. Oh, right. If something is resolved, it's not going to try to resolve it again on the second pass. I see. I get it. Okay. Okay, that. I think we did do that. Solver token I don't think we use anymore. Solve. So this maybe depth T should be here, or maybe in util. API depth T. We have a stat push back, we have inline auto stack. Push back. What a solve context CTX and then a value. So we do something like that. Oh, and then out index is what? Just an int? Z index gets updated later. Out index, this is because we are adding 2 quads, and this is just because we're adding 1 quad. I'll put this as a new line. I kind of liked it as one new line, but it also doesn't need to be inside of the Oh, yeah. So that actually makes sense to be in the outside. So this stuff. Maybe we resolve all this text stuff up front. To do unsure whether to resolve all text sizes before running constraint solver, or do that as part of the constraint solving process. And I think there's arguments for both. So I'm gonna leave that the way that it is. Okay. I think this is fine for now. I kind of just. The thing is like I miss just having like little bite-sized functions that are like nice and like friendly and approachable and cute and shit, and it's just like, yeah, that's just not the case. Okay. Context. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's get rid of that. What did we get there? We're missing something. Okay. I'm bringing this over. Alright, I'm gonna try to group everything, like all these like custom context size. I'm gonna be down here. Did we remove it? I don't know. Do we even use that buffer anymore? It's a dangerous game you're playing, Jimmy. Alright, looks good. Boom. Boom. Okay, group them all together. Group them all together, cause I don't give a fuck. All right. Okay. So this is a lot of context, but this is what it is. I mean, this is what large applications are, folks. A lot of shit's going on. Got to keep it organized somehow. Okay. So this is like styles. This is for styles. This is for styles. This is for elements. Well, this is for... So instead of elem hint, I mean, this is going to be like, I think elem quad indexes. So this is like layout. This should really write a layout buffer index. Oh wait, no, this is for styles. Layout buffer writer. Events. We want this stuff here. Probably do quad tree under layout. I mean, this is all the same object anyways, but I'm just like trying to like make sense of what we have here. Window, or let's say viewport. Current quad index is going to be under events. I don't even know what the hell this is. No, this is for layout, right? LM quad index, yeah. So that's just for removing layout quads. Okay. Events, viewport. This I'm going to say is for rendering. Inject a renderer, so in the same way that we have a layout function, we should also probably have a render function. Similar to how we inject layout function. Okay, so we have viewport stuff. Layout queued, and this is going to be sort of like flags. Left button press occurred is going to be like interaction. Mouse, keyboard. I think we all want last click time is under interaction. Layout function. Scroll offset. Alright, so text change, layout queued. Not really sure what to call that. Subcontexts may not need these. Okay. Alright, so we sort of have some stuff here. So now let's go into solve context. Now this is going to cause some problems. So everything that is not a reference. Let's bring this up. This is under layout. And honestly, let's just cut it. Well, Yeah, I think, yeah, I think we cut it. I think that makes the most sense, right? Just put everything in one big master context. I mean, it's either like, I think that makes the most sense. I guess we could just see if we like it. Alright, in 10 minutes I'm going to the gym. Because then, this way, like, well, this is the frustrating part where context, right, should just be this one big thing. We should be able to get rid of that. But we can't. Because we need a persistent stack frame. I mean, I guess this is the annoying part where it's just like, do we really want to couple, like, if we say something like this, constraint solver, right? And we say, okay, take this stack frame, bring it up to context, like, and then in here, we can get rid of this. Now we are gonna need some stuff, right? So, but we could be able to do like include context, and because this stuff is useful outside of the constraint solver. The constraint solver operates on this stuff, but it's not exclusive to this stuff, right? So we have solve context, probably something like this, where probably take solve context, replace it with context, so we replace all, and then at the top we have something like struct solve context, and this we need solve context, and this would be solve context dot boom, boom, boom. And we might not even need, I guess we do need that. Boom, 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 boom. I'm sniping them. I'm overly locked in. I'm overly locked in. I'm the biggest snipe. Top dude. And you could even go so far as to say, like, maybe the stack deserves to be in there. The only reason I don't put the stack in there is like, yeah, because it's like, I don't know. I guess my problem is this, where it's like, I guess my problem is this, where it's sort of like, I don't want to, like, you don't, I mean, obviously you don't want your, like, data to be coupled up with your, like, things that you do. But you do need to access certain data for things that you do. But the things that you do don't care, like, they want your data to be as close together as possible. But they don't care, like, whether it's from this object or this object. So this idea of encapsulation to me is just sort of like, you know what I mean? If you have a tree, some sort of, like, abhorrently polymorphic situation, and it's like, it's just a big bucket of data. But some of it is, like, you know, only accessible from this context, and some you got to go up to your parent or your superclass and get it and whatever. Where it's like, well, if all the data, I mean, if it's just sort of like, okay, like, we have a UI library, right? We have a UI library, and this is the data, this is the memory we use. These are all of the things that we use. This is our chunk of data, right? We reserve it at the beginning, that's it. That's all we're going to use, that's it. Doesn't that kind of make sense just to have in one place? Because then it's sort of like I'm almost sort of like, oh shit, should we just go full cat? I'm gonna go full cat. I'm gonna do it, then I'm going to the gym. Like, I'm saying all this gets there. This is the data that we need. How big is this? It's a big chunk, and then we're gonna, you know, reserve some memory in the heap. But that's what this is. This is the data. It's right here. There's a lot. So fucking what? Why not just stare at it, right? You're just looking at a bunch of fields. It's organized into, like, generally what it's for. But you could say, if I need the quad buffer from over here, why can't I have it? Because I designed some system that, oh shit, like, maybe, you know, like your system should not be designed around preventing people from accessing certain fields, right? Your system should be designed around, like, what does it do, right? Like, if I say, like, you should be operating on as few things as possible, I think. Like, you should be like, okay, this only needs this. This only needs this. But in the case of like, okay, well now I need to rethink that. Now it's like, okay, you just kind of have to refactor maybe what arguments your function takes. Maybe you do take the whole context. Who cares? But it's just like, I don't see a reason to not do this. Like I just don't. I really don't. I don't see a reason not to do this. Am I wrong for that? Alright. Let's get rid of these. Replace. See any of these? Replace with CTX. Replace all. And then in API reset, we're gonna do like, you know, and then you don't end up with like, this way we can include constraint solver. Like this all can, do we have errors here? What are the errors? Oh. And so if we run this, like let's see if this builds. I actually really don't mind that. And then if we just say like context, right? Like this, you know, this probably goes somewhere else, right? Yeah, we only really define other things. And then we just have this. We reserve it. Set up, you know, set window info. Reset probably deserves to be in here. And then it's sort of like, okay, like there's all this other shit that probably needs to get moved. But honestly, I'm pushing this shit. Get status, get add, get commit. Because like ultimately, I think here are my closing thoughts. Here are my closing thoughts, and then I'm leaving. But what I like we have this like huge context struct, right? And it's even more because we have stuff like stack frame, which points out to this, and like box tile group and text tile group and whatever. But the way that I see it is sort of like all your data is in one place. I mean, this is how a program works, right? This is how a computer works. You have your data section, and then you have your like operations, and they all have an address and memory, but like you have your data all together, and then your operations, and you go get shit from data, right? And then you have registers. But to me, this is how programs probably should be written, right? Right? Like to me, like if we have if like, okay, stack frame should probably be renamed like constraint stack frame or solver stack frame or whatever we end up calling that functionality, right? But ultimately, like, excuse me, like we rely on like when we do things, we rely on data to be a certain way. It's not just like, oh, we don't care what's here. So it's like the argument of like, oh, well, the stack frame, the constraint stack frame is like, there's no point to the, the sort of intelligent design argument of like, oh, there's no point, stack frame and constraint solver can't, there's no point in them existing separately. Okay, there's no point in having data without ability to operate on it, and there's no point in having operations that rely on data to have certain fields and stuff. Like, okay, that's everything. That's everything. That doesn't mean that they need to be in the same file necessarily. Because data, because yeah, like the way things work, like operating on the data doesn't necessarily mean it should care where the data comes from. But you should optimize how you lay out your data so that, man, I don't know. This is a tough one, and I'm really trying to figure this one out. But I think this is the truth. As ugly as this might be, you know what I'm saying? If anybody's watching this, bro, like, let me know what you think. Like, you know what I'm saying? If for example, right, if someone hires me, I'm probably not doing this. If someone hires me, I'm not doing this. This project to me is like experimental coding practices. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is like, is this like, do we need encapsulation? And my thought is no, right? No, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. But to me, this feels cleaner than what was happening before with all these like extra context objects. So there we go. Let's bounce.